Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen just about now. If you are going to do a bit of business in the chaos, the madness, brother, that is 2020, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good one. I am just about to ruin it because this is, of course, your post-match analysis for yesterday's 0-0 ball draw in the season's opener against Stoke City behind closed doors at the Den. I'm not going to go too harsh, too soon, too early, because it is the first game of the season. There is, of course, massive room for improvement. We was, of course, without some of our pivotal players, if you like. But first off, as always, let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett picked to start the match. So that's the team that the gaffer went with. It wasn't far off the team that I predicted he would go with. Two players that changed, which I was surprised with. One of those very surprised, which we'll get onto shortly, is, of course, Murray Wallace didn't figure and Alex Pearce started. And up front, John Daddy Bavardson was preferred to Matt Smith and Tom Bradshaw to start in the game. Let's start out with the back three. I don't think it would have made much difference if you started Alex Pearce or Murray Wallace. I've said, in previous, love them both at the club. Love both what they've done for the club. But Murray Wallace, for me, is much better at left back. And Alex Pearce is, although a prominent figure in the dressing room and around the club and a brilliant leader, he's ageing. And I just feel, it may be harsh on those two players. I don't want to dig them out, and I'm not digging them out. But they're both fine to be in and around it. Murray Wallace at left back to start if he can dislodge Scott Malone, by the way, who's been our best player so far in the two games we've played. And Alex Pearce, who's just slightly ageing. So, again, for me, I'll get onto the formation in a minute, but I thought Pearce might not have started and Murray Wallace would have done, and it went the other way round. I don't really think whichever way round you did that, it would have really mattered, to be honest with you. And by the way, the back three got a clean sheet, so you can't really knock it. Further up the pitch, of course, John Daddy Bavardson. And again, I'm going to get onto why I'm not digging Bavardson out shortly. And I'm not digging him out. It was a shock to me that he started, and I suspect it was to a lot of you that he started. Just not up to the standard of football, in my opinion. And that's all I'll say on the matter. But what I'm going to get onto and say in Bavardson's defence, in Pearce's defence, is I don't think Gary Rowett is getting it right at home. And I know it's the first game of the season, and I know we was without Woods, Romeo, Billy Mitchell injured, and of course Parrott as well. I just feel that we're not getting it right at home. And now I'm going to tell you why I don't think we're getting it right at home. As I've said, we have nothing further up the pitch. We are so reliant and dependent on getting the balls wide and getting balls into the box, which again, by the way, didn't happen. So it wouldn't have mattered if Parrott was fit and he would have played. He didn't have any chances. He wouldn't have had any chances. John Daddy Bavardson, yes, in my opinion, isn't up to the standard of football, but it wasn't John Daddy Bavardson's fault that he only had one shot in the whole game, sort of carved out by himself on the left foot. At least he's had a pop there. I didn't have a problem with that. We don't create any chances, and the reason we don't is because if our wide men aren't firing, and fuck me, yesterday, Jed, I'm saying nothing, but if you saw Jamie Price tweet on Twitter, you'll know, or if you've got eyes, you'll know exactly what I was talking about and you watch the game. Just quickly on Jed, I was asked a question the other day, completely unrelated to this video. A friend of mine said, who would you rather keep, Jed or Cooper? All day long, if I had to sell one of them, I'm selling Jed. And if you don't agree with that, then I'm sorry, in my opinion, you're clueless. Because Cooper is consistent, solid, and an all-round good footballer. Jed, just wow. But anyway, this is not about Jed. This is about Gary Rowett, in my opinion. It's one of the very few and first digs I've had at the gaffer since he's taken over. I am saying that the three at the back doesn't work. For the reason is the distance between the midfield and the front three, almost the front one at times, is the gap so big. They're so disjointed, and we've got absolutely nothing. We've got no one coming through the middle. We've got no one making runs beyond. The only one that does it when he plays there is Ryan Leonard. Now, I used to say it doesn't work with Malumbi and Woods. That doesn't work. I'm starting to think now that maybe the gaffer's reining them in. Three centre-backs with two players holding is too defensive. There is such a detachment between the midfield and the strikers. We have no one that bombs on through midfield. What's wrong with creating chances through the middle? What's with this one-dimensional, get it wide, get it in the box? And Gary Rowett has not changed that. And again, the reason I'll go back to I think it doesn't work, I'll back it up with facts. Gary Rowett come in and we had success under him straight away, pretty much away from home. The first game away at Reading, it didn't work. We lost the game. He changed it. He found the right formula. And since then, the three at the back away from home, nailed on, it works. I ain't got a problem with it. You've only got to look at the results. I can't sit here and say it doesn't work because I look like a dickhead. The stats don't lie. The results don't lie. It works away from home. Some brilliant results away from home last season against Swansea, against Bristol City. Loads of teams I could go on about. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but you know the results from last season. Nottingham Forest, so Preston. So you know what we've done. We've done the business away from home. We've won one game. We've won one game at home since January. In January, we beat Reading at home 2-0. Matt Smith and John Daly Bavarsson got the goals. John Daly Bavarsson came off the bench that day. Since that day, we've won one game at the Den. And that was the last game of the season against Huddersfield. Emphatically 4-1, yes. But at the same time, you've got to look and say their season was done. Our race was run. You know, it was an end of season game. It did definitely have an end of season feel about it. So it was a little bit not detached from reality because the score was 4-1, but I don't think you can look into that in too much detail. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't work at home with three at the back, and we need more going forward. Now I'm hearing Gary Rowett in certain articles and in the press and coming out and saying, you know, the players need to believe, the fans need to believe that we are good enough. We seem to always say as a fan base and as a club, well, you know, we're punching up above our weight. We're the biggest small club in the world, blah, blah, blah. Gary Rowett doesn't like that mentality. Gary Rowett wants us to believe as players and as fans. But what I'm going to say now is, how can Gary Rowett come out and say that to us when he doesn't believe? You can't go three at the back at home and have two defensive midfielders sitting in front of those. That's five people that aren't getting forward. And we aren't good enough further up the pitch with a few people that are up there. So for me, Gary Rowett's selling the short at home. It does not work. It is not going to work going forward, in my opinion. We'll probably win 5-0 in the next home game, and I'll look like a dickhead. But I've got to give you my honest opinion, and that is it. For me, and I've said it before, and I said it before the game Saturday, and I'll keep saying it, three at the back for us, with two sitting holding midfield players, doesn't work. As I said, the only one that does it properly is Ryan Leonard. He gets forward. Thompson and Williams, love them both. I can't speak highly enough of Sean Williams. He was terrible yesterday, you know, and that can happen. There was a lot of players that were terrible yesterday. I'm not digging at Sean Williams. Ben Thompson, I'm starting to think, you know, as a club, we may be progressing a little bit further than Thompson. Maybe I'm wrong with that one, but they didn't do anything wrong yesterday, but neither of them got forward, and they also didn't protect the back three. And as a result, Stoke kept getting through us. It was a terrible game all round, if I'm honest. The only shining light for me, again, was Scott Malone. The players don't look fit. The players look off the pace. That's to be, you know, that's understandable. They do need to get into it, you know, quickly. And that is for that reason. I'll get into a pre-match prediction for Cheltenham tomorrow. But in my opinion, that's why we need to go full strength. Matt Smith comes on, and I said to my mate who I was watching it with, on the hour, he's going to take Bavarsson off and Bennett off, because Bennett's still blowing out his arse. He needs to get fitter. And he's going to bring on Matt Smith and Mahoney, because you can't bring Matt Smith on. If you bring Matt Smith on, it needs to be a double deal. You need to bring on someone with him that can supply him with him crosses. Mahoney, again, give Mahoney 15 starts, and then we'll see where he is after that. You know, you can't keep judging him on coming on in a game that nothing's happening and solely reliant and dependent on him to change that if Jed isn't firing. Give Mahoney 15 starts, then we'll talk. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We have to have a flat back four. Cooper and Hutchinson have been our pairing for a long time. And again, for as critical as we sometimes can be, myself and all of you, about Neil Harris, we got that centre defence pairing for £400,000 in total. And they have now been the stalwarts of our success and pivotal to Millwall Football Club establishing themselves in the Championship. So get them two there. Get Malone, or if you like Murray Wallace more defensively, left back, bang. Get Romeo right back when he's fit. He's not far off it now, by the way, I believe. And then, you know, you can have your holding midfield player, your two holding midfield players, but then you've got to have a 10. You have to have that 10 and people in and around either side that can unlock that door. And I believe that we can do that. And then you can almost have your Bavarssons up front, because one attribute I believe he has got as a footballer, in very similar terms to Aidan O'Brien, is he will pop up and score a goal. You can't deny that. He must have good positional sense in the box, and occasionally he'll score a goal. But getting on to Bavarsson as well, and not Bavarsson, again, Rowett's decision to go with Bavarsson, who has missed the entire pre-season due to international commitments and a slight injury, it just tells me that we are going to be very, very heavily reliant on Troy Parrott which I don't think is right. You know, he's already not fit. He's got a quad injury still. I don't know how far away he is from full fitness. But, yeah, it's worrying for me. And I have said this in the squad review I did. If you want to go back to that video, the 2 areas that worry me this season, I'm happy with everywhere else on the pitch. Centre forward and another centre back. I might be wrong about the centre back situation, and we have got the players there to cover it if need be. But this centre forward thing, we're short. We're short and time's running out and we need someone else in. I know we've got no money. No clubs have got no money. I think we've done brilliant business in the transfer window. What we've recruited so far for literally zero money, other than the small fee, whatever that was, we don't know, for Mason Bennett. We've recruited right. We've recruited in the right areas. We've recruited players that have already been here, and we haven't gone whole hog like we did with Neil Harris and brought 10 new players in, where, you know, small steps. That's how we like to progress as a club, full stop, on and off the pitch. And it does work for us. But we are short up front, in my opinion. Even if Troy Parrott comes in and scores hat-trick next week, which I don't think he will be fit for Saturday. Again, I don't know that, but I can't see it. And if he is, I don't think Gary Rowett will come in and start him straight away. He's going to get eased into it. So it says a lot yesterday, I think, for Bradshaw's future at the club. I don't think Gary Rowett rates him. But Varson, again, no disrespect to John Daddy, he does his best. But for me, he's not to the standard of football. And Matt Smith, who should have started yesterday, in my opinion, after everything I've said about Matt Smith in the past, I was very surprised, as was a lot of you, judging by the comments that I saw from our social media posts. So, yeah, very strange decision to go with John Daddy. I think he wanted to do it because he wanted legs up there. He wanted to press from the front. In which case, I probably would have started Bradshaw if that's what he was after, because Bradshaw at least does run around. Will he score goals under Gary Rowett's regime? No, which is a shame, because I do think he can be a goal scorer. Given opportunities. No one got given any opportunities yesterday. Our only shot on target, we had 2 shots. One Thompson put over the bar, which was fair enough. He went for a shot, didn't work out. And Varson carved one out for himself. Left-footed P-roller into the keeper's arms. Again, I haven't got a problem with that. At least he showed the confidence to bring the ball down, turn it and have a shot. It wasn't John Daddy Bavarson's fault we didn't score yesterday. It wasn't, you know, as if Sean Williams had a bad game. It wasn't his fault we didn't win the game. In my opinion, the gaffer's selling a short now in this formation that he's deciding to persist with, which surprises me, because when things doesn't go right for Rowett, he changes it. When sometimes we're chasing a game, not even chasing a game, but chasing a win. You saw him very aggressive with his substitutions last season at points. The home win over Cholton for one, sticking on AOB and Matt Smith late on. He doesn't sell us short. He goes for them wins. But I really believe within the formation he's playing, he is selling us short at home. So I haven't really even spoke about the game. Listen, as I said, we was missing Marlon Romeo, we was missing Ryan Woods, we was missing Billy Mitchell, we was missing Troy Parrott. We are a long way off where we need to be as a club, and I'm sure the players and Gary Rowett was as frustrated as we all were yesterday with that performance. But once again, listen, you look at the league table, and all we need is survival again. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We've had 3 seasons in the Championship. First season, we was just short of the playoffs. Second season, we nearly went down. Third season, again, we nearly reached the playoffs. So as a fan base, we're not expecting the playoffs. But if the carrot's there and it's dangled, then you want if the carrot's there dangled, you want that dream, you want to grab it. All we really want is Millwall fans, as we all know, if I can get my fucking words out, is a mid-table finish and an half-decent cup run once in a while. We know that. So looking at the table yesterday, I think Stoke are going to do all right this year. I think they'll be nowhere near where they finished last season. We got 12 points or 13 points on Sheffield Wednesday now. Maybe, I don't know, they got on yesterday. But we're in a good position. Things can only get better. The players definitely, that's not the best they can give. We know that, and they definitely need more game time. So I said, I'll cover the Cheltenham game tomorrow in a pre-match prediction, but I think we need to go strong and with an intent of, you know, the squad, the outset, from the outset, the team that's going to start next Saturday away against Rotherham needs to start against Cheltenham on Tuesday and get some minutes in the tank, get some goals, get some understanding between the players. Again, Rotherham away, you probably will go 3 at the back, and as we said earlier on in the video, you can't argue with that. I haven't really covered the game as such, just really the points where I think we're going wrong. And as you know by now, probably about 15 minutes in, it's definitely the formation at home. It is not working for me. We need to go 4 at the back, 2 holding midfield players, and then 3 in behind and 1 with a 10. And I think Bennett, when he's fitter, Mahoney, if he can get a run of games from the start, and Jed, if he can put his boots on the right feet, they will be the key to our season, those 3. In behind a Parrott or a Smith or a Bavarsson if you need to play him. It's goals, it's people from midfield, it's other ideas other than putting the balls wide and putting them in the box and it not working. Or in yesterday's case, not even managing to get balls in the box. So try different avenues. Go through the centre of the pitch. I've said it a million times and I'll say it and I'll say it and I'll keep saying it. Defenders won't like it. Teams won't like it when someone runs directly at the heart of their defence. Fred Onyedinma used to do it. I know he wasn't the greatest player, finished article final product, but people do not like that. They don't like it. And this new age, new expectancy, Pep Guardiola, fucking Jurgen Klopp expectancy of popping the ball around, fuck that. Just get the ball, run directly at them for the jugular, get players beyond that and see what happens. You've got to mix it up with two one-dimensional. And the one dimension we're trying is not working at the minute at home. So that needs to change, in my opinion. And yeah, that's rant over really for the day. I've done 10 miles this morning, walking to try and get most of the rant out. But hopefully that's the last bit of aggression left in me for the day. I'm going to have a couple of beers. The weather's nice outside. Get outside and enjoy it. I will be back tomorrow for a pre-match prediction. I will be back Tuesday, potentially for a watch-along. If not a watch-along, there'll definitely be content out for the Cheltenham game. Jason Van Blurk, Lions Lounge, Lockdown is being filmed on Wednesday. Then we're back in for a Rotherham pre-match prediction on Thursday. Day off with the kids Friday, Saturday. All systems go again. So, busy week ahead, on and off the pitch. And I'll see you throughout the week. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.